Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so everything's going smoothly, man. I got into a new room. It's not facing the street this time for the first time in 2 tries. I got a room that's facing the opposite way, so I shouldn't have to hear anything going on outside, which is very, very helpful for me because boy, was that a struggle listening to the folks outside my window throughout the course of the night and day and all the struggles that they was having. That is a room that I am very glad I did not find myself in. I hope I never ever find myself in again. So all things considered, this has been a very good session of going to the other hotel and spending the night there, coming back over here, and so on and so forth. I thought I made some really good art yesterday. Did all of the homework I needed to do to prepare for the games that are going to be coming up with the Lakers. And had a pretty decent meal last night. I made the mistake of overdrawing what I ultimately was supposed to be using to buy the meal and to buy the ride, the Uber ride. So what I ended up having to use was a gift card for the Uber, and had to get something that it was probably a little less expensive for my meal last night. So that kind of catered to what it was I was able to order, which was like some Hawaiian chicken from a Hawaiian barbecue place, and it was good. It digests pretty well. It came with some type of macaroni salad type thing. I poured that down the toilet. There wasn't no way I was putting that in my system. So yeah, man, that's really what it is. I had a good night, slept very well, woke up early enough to make sure that I got everything done. I was kind of worried about me waking up on time because my body had been waking me up at like 9 o'clock throughout the course of the last 3 weeks, 9:30, and you got to check out of that place by 10. But I got up at like 7, crawled out of bed at 8, and was able to check out exactly at 10 o'clock. So it worked out very well for me, timing wise. Got back over here, didn't take long to get checked into a room at all. So that took all of like 10 minutes. She gave me the paperwork and immediately had the room ready for me. And so the money was already secured from a couple days ago. So all of this different stuff is just catering to why I'm having a really, really easy day checking into for the new contract with Studio Lodge Hotel. And so it's a gloomy day, man. This weather is really, really inconsistent, man. A couple days ago it was 87 degrees. Right now it is about noon, and the weather is gloomy, and it was drizzling about an hour and a half ago. So I don't know what's going on with this bipolar weather, but I don't know what to say other than when you see weather like this, sometimes it follows by an earthquake. That's what I can say. You start having shakes after that. I equate 2 things with earthquakes as it pertains to weather. Days that look like this, that are really warm, are usually followed by earthquakes. And when the weather goes back and forth like this in drastic ways, sometimes it brings about earthquakes or coincide with earthquakes rather. So I wouldn't be surprised. We here in Los Angeles always need to be ready for that at all times, man. So that's just what I want to say. Prayers out to anybody who's ever dealt with that, past, present, and future, because it is what it is, man. Ain't nothing easy about it. So yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Had a very good night's sleep. That's really what it was. I did have a very difficult to deal with type of dream, to be honest with you, but the sleep itself was well. But it was one of those situations where last night I saw, before I went to sleep last night, one of the last things I saw before I went to bed was more images of what happened in Gaza, man. The more recent image, which was just a child lost again, unalived and really, really messed up. As far as the body's state, it was really messed up. And so, without getting into too much graphic descriptions, just understand that it wasn't simply just a body, it was bad. So that's what I saw last night, and then some of that, I guess, carried into my dream. So I dreamed that somebody had started delivering body parts to my house and put them on my bed. And you could see they were parts. You didn't see no head, but you saw feet. You saw the. So I'm like, yo, this is the first dream I can legitimately say I've had. That I think stems from those images from this genocide. And all the times I've been paying attention to that, I never actually dream about it. But last night was the first time I said, yo, some of that morbid crap has finally snuck itself into my subconscious. And the sick thing about it was, I was only partially disturbed. And that's what bothered me even more so. Plus, last night I had also heard about that young lady in Toledo, Ohio, who was done so dirty, So she was 13 years old, and I guess they say it was her father, although there's some questions about whether or not he's her biological father or not. I guess he had weaseled his way into their lives somehow, and they ended up finding her in an abandoned building, done very, very awful, unalived, and just done horrific. And so that part of the circumstance also, I guess, played into what came into my dreams last night, man. So yeah, man, that's prayers out to the people who loved her family, everybody going through what they're going through in Gaza. I just understand there's a lot of horror in the world right now, man, and as it always is. But sometimes you see more of it than others, and I just think this is just a season where the enemy is working hard in that way. So that's what I want to say to you guys. Protect yourselves, protect your peace, stay prayed up. Don't just be trusting people, man. Sometimes people can put on a really good image and a really good way about themselves, but they may be deeply depraved, you know what I mean? They might have something wrong with their brain. And I saw an image last night, probably catered to this even further, of it was two different brains. One was Aaron Hernandez, that football player that had CTE that ultimately killed himself in prison after unaliving some people and all this and that. And then it would show a person his age's brain as well that was normal, and you could see the deterioration that was caused to his brain, and the difference that it was to someone who didn't have some of the issues that he had. And you could just see these are the type of things you can't really tell sometimes. People's behavior, how they was raised, will make it so that they present to be very okay, but they may have some deeply depraved things going on in their skull. You know what I mean? Caused by God knows what. And so sometimes you don't really know what people are going through or what it is that they got going on. And sometimes you can't really tell, man. But if you read energy well, then you may be able to sense something off. And if you sense something off, trusting that instinct can save lives for sure. And so that's what I want to say, man. Trust your instincts. Read energy well, man. We're not taught how to read energy well, but we talk about it a lot on this channel. Some people are no good. And you can tell by certain things that they do that don't align with the Holy Spirit. Reading energy is entirely too important, man, in this world of misdirection. And people being depraved, and people weaseling their way in, and all this type of game that people be running on one another. Reading energy well is the most important thing in the world, man. And so I just want to encourage people to do their very best. Do their very best is what I can just say. You read energy and ward off bad vibes from your life, from within yourself, and in your surroundings, if at all possible. So yeah, and try to stay away from morbid stuff, man. Because it will seep itself into your subconscious eventually, like it's done mine this last night. So yeah, man. Something else I wanted to say too. I don't remember what it was. It was something. Hey friends, what's up, buddy? Hey, what's up? Mean guys over here. They're definitely intentional on saying hello every time they see me. Some dogs actually get cool after a while. Them two, never. They just mean all day. But it's one of those situations where, all in all, like I said, the sensitization of what it is that I've been actually seeing in my phone and all these different things really did make it so that I didn't respond the way that I probably would like to have seen myself respond to a dream like that. You wake up and you're like, man, that was really disturbing. I woke up like, yeah, well, that's pretty average to what it is I'm seeing in my phone these days. That's kind of how I woke up, and it's just that's not how you want to be. You don't want to be desensitized like this, but unfortunately that's what there is to see, man. And then because it's sanctioned as it pertains to this genocide by our country, they're not doing any job whatsoever of really any of the stuff that ultimately will help us not have to experience this, or help those people actually not go through this. They're not going to speak on the ramifications of experiencing these images, because they're pretending like these images are just and therefore should be done. They're not going to tell you that we condone this behavior, because we as a country technically don't, because it's our allies in Israel who are committing them. So it's all the different stuff that we would normally do if we were to condemn this behavior, or if we were to acknowledge that it's no good. It's not being done, but we're still experiencing these things just the same. We're still seeing these images in our phone just the same. So the hypocrisy is coercing our country into the damage that ultimately has done a great job of pretending like it actually wanted to prevent us from experiencing. For example, all the things that censorship has provided. All the things that the reasons why they censor unalive types of stuff and put all types of R word, ratings on movies. This genocide, because of how they're approaching it, they are not doing any of those things as pertains to protecting the minds of those who are experiencing this, or helping soothe the minds of those who are being desensitized. So all the work that we've been doing as a country to protect us from certain images is being undone by this generation's quote unquote leaders. I want people to really let that sink in. They wouldn't let us see, even in fiction, unalive children in certain things. They would, even the most R-rated movies wouldn't show certain images. All of that is being undone by this genocide. We're seeing all of this stuff that ultimately they spent 40 years or more trying to, protect more or less the public from seeing. Now, when it comes to this particular entity, it's like, well, this is not happening. This is not taking place. It's essentially what they're saying is, we're watching this stuff. It's just not happening. Don't believe your lying eyes. This is Hamas. They're attacking their enemies, and the enemies are just and being destroyed. And the rest of the people who are seeing this stuff, you're not seeing this. You're liars. You're terrorist sympathizers. You're everything but people who've been traumatized by images of unalive children. So I just want people to really understand, like, the lengths that this country is going through to support Israel, and how much Israel is undoing in regards to so much of what has been censored in this world of ours, in this country of ours, rather, and the things that we didn't allow people to see for so long, things that we wouldn't want people to see because it influences the world around us so wrong and creates complexes in people's minds and stuff like this, and traumatizes people and all different types of stuff, influences different sicknesses that are deeply unhinged. These are the things that they are neglecting so that they can support those who are engaging in genocide, undoing generations and generations of censorship, generations and generations of molding society to shun certain behavior. They undoing all of that in this genocide, all of it. You got they even now in this era, they engaging in drastic hypocrisy. You got Israel running around celebrating grapists, and I have to say the word grape and describing it because they don't want that word out on the airwaves. Like, understand how ridiculous that is. Our biggest allies have people within their society who are literally trying to bust down jails so that they can free people who've done this. You got these same people, and this is so important to know that this is happening. They are bombing cancer centers and parts of the hospital that are dedicated to cancer treatment in these places where they want to continue to engage in genocide. Like, they're not just attacking soldiers, they're attacking children, they're attacking sick people, they're attacking elderly, they're attacking women. They're targeting those who can't defend themselves in this genocide. And this is behavior that we were told to shun, that we don't respect as a country. But when it's these people doing it, suddenly it's no problem. Suddenly it's not even happening. Suddenly people like myself who are telling you they see it, suddenly are just liars, sympathizers of, like, you need to know that this is what's being done in your world, or, you know, America. This is what your people that you've been voting in office are doing. And it doesn't matter